Man, it was a great football game. You got to give the Colts a lot of credit. They had a great game plan, executed it well, and I'll tell you what, our guys we just fight tooth and nail to the absolute end, and like wins in this league are come in all different shapes and sizes, and great teams figure out a way to win games, and that's what we're trying to be. So I'm proud of our effort, man. We are mentally tough. We stuck together. There's plenty, obviously, we want to work on and improve. But the way we closed that game out was just phenomenal. Just in terms of the fight, J-My 6 field goals, having each other's backs. Great kickoff return there at the end. Kobe with the pick. I mean, just a great effort. Great effort. There's things that we're going to really learn from out of this game. Red zone, time of possession, field position, defensively. Being able to adjust as the game goes on, which I thought we did a great job of, but that's going to happen, So games are going to be like this coming down the stretch, and so it's you got to learn, figure out ways to win them, and so I'm proud that we did.
You mentioned Jason already, but 6 for 6 with a 56-yard win. I mean, what can you say about his game?
Yeah, I mean, just talking about picking each other up, just being there when we need them. Being ready, steady. I mean, I think our field goal operation and protection was really good too. But yeah, it was just 6 field goals, man. I mean, it's not what you want, but when needed, it's great to have them.
Mike, when were you on the line that you wanted to start using your timeouts on defense? When the ball got where? You say?
Well, it's kind of a function of like, hey, as this kind of declared as the last possession, even though they still had 3 timeouts. You're trying to figure out a way, like if it doesn't go your way, you got a chance to come back and win it. So, and Brian Ayers did a phenomenal job managing it, and he was really decisive, and really credit. I gave him a lot of credit. He got a game ball in the locker room because he really put us in position to go still have a chance to win the game.
Were you and Brian assessing they were going to kick from almost any distance once they got that third?
I was actually deeper than we anticipated, so. Guy made a heck of a kick, So we thought he was beyond his line, but he made a tremendous kick.
Is there something that they did, because obviously here's a guy you're facing, a 44-year-old quarterback, hasn't played in 5 years, and maybe there's just sort of a human nature, perhaps a look ahead, or it just seemed like the team came out a little lethargic today, especially in the first half?
No, we do our process and we go attack it and let's go. Now, they had a really good game plan in terms of how they were operating, and I mean, you got to take your hat off to Phil. I mean, he's just did a great job managing the game, didn't put the ball in jeopardy until he had to. We could have probably forced some more of those situations, but they did a good job, So, and is what it is. They're a good football team.
Sundell back in the starting lineup at center for you guys today. What went into that decision, and what did you kind of think on this?
Yeah, well, first of all, Olu, did a phenomenal job filling in for him, and we felt like, Jalen was a starter before, and he was healthy and ready to go, and had a great week of practice, so we went with Jalen.
What do you make of the offense struggling in the first half like it did?
Yeah, we got to improve. We got to be better. We got to start faster. We'll look at our openers here. It's a couple games now where our openers weren't hitting as well as we want, and we'll look at it. But we want to start faster. I mean, the field position in the first half was we were in tough situations. Like the field was definitely tilted against us. So when we're in those situations, we got to get out of those things. And then when we did, that we have a big kick return there at some point, and so it flipped again. So we got to improve in that area.
They're a pretty good run defense overall, but what did you see from your inability to kind of get going there today with the run game?
Yeah, just when you don't have the ball, it's hard to stick and get and find a bunch of different runs to get to. So that's the first thing. We have to be more effective early so we can get down to our game plan and find some ways to run it. And we got to start faster. We got to block it better. We got to run it better. Got to game plan it better. The whole thing.
How good was Sam on the last drive? And then once you got to where you did you feel comfortable with Jason from 56 there?
Well, he was inside of first Sam did a great job. The first play was awesome, and then they're going to be pretty aggressive there once you're out the line, and he was decisive getting the ball on the sideline, and I thought Clint did a good job calling it. But that's the type of stuff we work all the time, and Sam, I mean, he's been tremendous for us in 2 minutes this year. But obviously we would like to get the first down. I mean, every yard matters in some of those field goal things. So, we're trying to move it forward. But once you're in, obviously you don't want to go backwards once you're inside range.
Holding the back like Taylor under 100 yards, under 4 yards of carries. What do you think of the run defense today?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, our front, I thought, really battled. I mean, playing a lot of those runs in split safety. That's really what we do, and they did a great job. Now there's some things like it's great to have Riley go out there and have his first game experience, and he's going to learn from some of these things about what it's like. But I think you got to give him a lot of credit. He's out there, he's battling, and hadn't done it in a long time, so it was great to have him.
For Shaheed to be as much of a factor as he was in the last drive, just how important was that?
Yeah, I mean, incredibly important. We don't move the ball, we're going to lose the game. So someone's got to step and make a play, and you got to do it in a hurry. You have no timeouts, and so you got to get the ball down the field.
Once you saw how Rivers was throwing it, how did you change, either in coverage or pressure?
Well, I mean, I'd say threw it effectively when he needed to, and so, but it became clear that the offense that they had been running was taking a pretty dramatic shift, so we had to do it as well. But you can only run the things that you've been repping. You can't just invent defense. We had a couple adjustments in terms of some coverage structures that we haven't repped all week, and the guys did a great job with that. But it probably altered how we called some of the things, like some of the categories and how we game plan when we're going to call certain coverages in certain situations. But that's pretty much par for the course. You're kind of doing that every game.
How much did it make you play tighter on their receivers, knowing the ball wasn't going down the field?
I wouldn't say it altered the matchiness of our calls. I wouldn't say that.
You mentioned earlier wins come in all shapes and sizes. You've had a lot of wins this year by pretty big margins. Is this good for the guys to have a game?
Yeah, that's a great point, John. I think it is. I mean, it's great to win by multiple scores and put games away in the fourth quarter. We'll take those every time they give it. But this is the NFL, and these teams are really, really good. And I'm just proud that we fought and found a way to win these, this tight game, because this is what it's going to be like, from here on out.
It felt like the first 3 quarters of change that they were able to consistently get an extra rusher after Sam and get him off his spot. And how do you see that change in the fourth quarter with the way the pass protection was holding up and giving him the time to start?
Well, we blew one pass protection that we repped all week, and we just had an absolute mental error. But I thought our protection plan was good, and I think they had another free runner on a 4 strong. Other than that, I mean, I felt like we probably needed more ways to get the ball out in those situations, but we just stuck to it and kept playing. So I wouldn't say they had an extra runner all game. It's just a couple plays.
Abe left and then came back. Is he okay, I guess?
Yeah, to my knowledge, he's okay.
Same question with Derek. He's all right.
Yeah.
Derek Hall.
Yeah.
Anything else? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.